Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.
Man, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, guys. Make sure you guys are, hey, man, download that app, man. Boss Talk 101.app, $7.99. We get your t-shirts sent out this month. But, guys, breaking news, man. Lauren Piscata, I think it's Piscata, has sued Yeezy, man. My boy Kanye, man. Kanye done got himself in a situation. OG, you there?
Man, I'm here, man. It's a shame the way these dudes be entertaining these Yankees and these just keep coming on. This man, this savage claims that Kanye took her to San Francisco and he was doing his new Dondada school, and Kanye started making unwanted advances. And she tried to buff him off, but he kissed her on the mouth and asked what her vagina was like. And
What?
just something supposed to know what your stinky vagina is like. This is terrible.
So it's very detailed, huh?
Pascata says Kanye masturbated and touched her vagina before falling asleep mid-sentence and was as he was talking to her. Allegedly, he showed up to Piscata's room and demanded him to let her in so he could shower before pushing his way through the door. Piscata says Kanye shoved her on the bed, pinned her down, and forced his penis in her mouth. She says she begged and pleaded if Ye would to stop and froze in shock and fear. But she talking with a Johnson in her mouth. He must not be that big, huh?
This is crazy.
This woman, and she says Ye eventually stopped, apologized to her, and walked out of the room. Well, if he apologized, what you mad about? He said sorry.
Wow, OG, you know darn well. Now, if it's a legitimate case, then it shouldn't be forced, okay? But if it's not a legit, hold on, if it's not a legitimate case, then if it's not a legitimate case, then then that's different. But did she consent? It becomes the thing.
Yes, she consented. She was talking while it was in her mouth, she said.
OG, I'm not going to do this with you today. She was giving you a description of how this thing was happening, and that's what you came up with?
I came up with, like, you busy talking while I'm there. So you making me feel you should have been apologizing.
OG, now, go ahead.
Well, if she froze and she was so devastated, this always gets me. Why wasn't it a police report in 2024?
Yeah, because that's not that long ago.
So, I mean, like, all this happened to you then in San Francisco. So why didn't you, these Yankees come up with, we going right back to slave time. You can't whistle at a white woman. And these light-skinned Negroes, they all just jump. I guess I can because I'm broke, huh?
But, yeah, well, OG, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The temperature we're in now, 2024, Kanye should know not to be putting himself in a situation like this.
He don't know nothing. He's just a stupid Sambo. He don't
well, you're not gonna. No, I'm not gonna go with no slander when it comes to Kanye.
Sammy allowed him to do anything. He's socially retarded, and he's slow. That car injury is starting all that metal in his head. Brother ain't thinking right, whole thing.
Oh, gee, but let's talk about the overall picture, man. Smokey Robinson, Shannon Sharp, the list goes on, man. Bill Cosby, the list doesn't stop. I mean, you have so many different cases. P. Diddy. What is a man to do in this day and time to stay away from those type of situations? How can a man do that? Because if right now, if you fly a woman out to see you in, say, in Compton, and she's in San Francisco, and you fly her over there and you guys have a good time. You take her out to eat. Y'all have a great time. And then you put her on the plane, send her back. And then a year later, because they had that contact with you and because you basically just got $100 million settlement or deal, then they come back and say, hey, man, you know, when I flew over there with him, here's the records. And when I flew over there with him, he forced himself on me. I didn't want to do it. This is what happened. Now you're getting called into court because you didn't only do that once. You had done that a few times with different girls over the years because it might have been 10 years. And now you look like in court or wherever that you was sex trafficking. And not only were you sex trafficking, but looked like you was doing it consistently. All behind you just having normal consented relations with these people. How big is that? Does that have to stop some kind of way? I'm just asking, how do we get a handle around that particular way that they're doing the law system?
And that right there is a prime point. It's called a willing participant. If sex trafficking is identified as forcibly bringing somebody in for the option of prostitution. Now, when you come on your own in the legal world, you volunteered, and this new clause that they're bringing just for people of color, because them other people have been doing that since Wilbur and Orville Wright had airplanes. I remember I believe it was back in the 80s. What was this lady's name? She was one of the big news reporters on Channel 7 News, and she was ugly as hell, but everybody wanted, I can't think of this lady's name.
Everybody wanted her.
I guess everybody wanted her, but what's his name? He was a German. He was he wasn't the vice president. He was the Speaker of the House, and he got Air Force One, got the president's airplane, flew to New York, picked her up, took her back to D.C. just to get some head. And when he came out, Barbara Walters, that's the lady's name.
Yeah, I remember her.
Barbara Walters, and she flew back, and when she put it in her book, and they find, what is this, he's a German, he was one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's homeboys, and I think he's the Speaker of the House, and he stole the plane and flew down there, picked her up, brought her back to Washington, D.C., and she said she gave him some top. And when they found out about it, they made him pay $250,000 for using the plane.
Man.
Now that's sex trafficking. They doing it in a big way. But now, anytime something starts to go down, it falls on blacks so hard in white America. This is some crazy. And I'm not a Kanye fan because I know but he's really selective. I mean, he's far-fetched, but you can't rape the willing. These Yankees sit up in the room with these black boys and make themselves accessible. And they say that the last thing the devil does when you can't sin at all, and the last thing he does is send you to hell is bring a woman. So these guys is getting oversaturated with these shaitanis, and they better be aware of he masturbated and touched my vagina. Who needs you?
And I'm gonna tell you something, and this is something you better hear, and you better hear me good. If these other brothers that look like me, that are in these prominent positions of so-called power, which we know is no power at all when it comes to people that don't look like me. if they don't start to come up and stand for these other guys that's going through this stuff, they're going to continue to be victimized. Without unity, they'll continue to be scrutinized, and people will start to easily pick some of your ones up that you're not even realizing. It'll trickle down. It'll be names that they may not have as much as a Kanye or a Jay-Z or a Diddy, but they'll start to trickle this down just like they did when they was doing when they was pretty much manipulating our society with crack cocaine and all the other stuff in our neighborhoods. It'll start to trickle down as they start to process it through, and it's a process of elimination with the people that basically that are they can victimize with it. The smaller guys, the guys you said earlier about not having enough money, it ain't gonna matter at some point. It's gonna be so watered down that anybody they can find to victimize in that way, it's gonna generate dollars for the because if you can't fight this and you don't have the resources to fight it, then they get a conviction rate on it. So I don't think it's gonna stop as long as nobody stands up and say something. They're starting at the top, but we know everything that starts at the top rolls to the bottom. So you can get ready, because I don't think this is going to be a thing that's going to stay just on these levels that it's on. So until you guys, people that look like me, decide to stand up and unify, we're going to start seeing in the droves of numbers people that's going to become victimized. And it ain't going to matter as much about how much finances they got either, because in the court system, it's going to be a thing that's accepted because we never said anything about it. What do you think about that, OG?
You're exactly right. You know, that's a statement of fact that's potentially getting ready to happen to all of us. And as you said earlier, we should lobby with laws. I mean, we need to stand up, and everybody that makes these frivolous accusations, if you accuse a person of something and they didn't do it, you should get the time.
No, I agree with that 100%, because that'll stop a lot of the false statements and the false accusations that the people are doing. And it's just a trip to me how it keeps happening. And like I said, this woman is saying that he walked out of the room. She got so many different things. I even your girl Korean Stefan even is hinting at coming at a lawsuit to Diddy. I just seen that earlier. She's now trying to get her bag out of this situation now that Diddy pretty much has been convicted, and she has ways to say she was in the room with him, allegedly, is what I'm hearing. So when you look at these, a lot of the women are going to step up if they see they can get a bag out of this. A lot of the victims are not just women, but people, period, who can find a way, as you see what Tyler Perry is going through. They're going to find a way to come up with ways to be able to inject themselves into a system that pretty much gives them leeway to get a money grab. You see what I'm saying? And that's what's going to happen. And ain't nothing we if we don't stand together, we're going to fall. It says this woman right here said, Prescott says Ye offered her as a sexual gift to someone to exchange for Ye having sex with that person's significant other. She says Ye notoriously offered women as sexual gifts to men. By the way, in the first amended complaint filed in May, Presciata accused Kanye of drugging her at a studio session co-hosted by Diddy, among other things. You see what I'm saying? These are stories. Now they're inflaming these stories because we were in the room together. We were partying. Now I can make my story the way I want to make it. And guess what? It can be 2 to 10 years away, and I still get to come in and facade around and be hurt behind and be the victim. And ain't nobody going to do nothing about it. And that's crazy to me. OG, I don't know what to say, man. I'm going to end this thing, man. Kanye basically gets a lawsuit by this Priscilla, whatever her name is. I don't even like saying Piscicata. You know, yeah. I mean, come on, guys, get in the comments. Let us know. Piscicata.
Her lawyer is Tony Busby.
Are you serious? Where'd you find that at?
I know it being dark web.
Oh man. So, guys, like I said, man, we joke and we have a good time, but take what we're saying serious, man. It's too much. It's happening too frequently, man. But if you still watching, guys, make sure you go download the app. It's $7.99, Boss Talk 101, and you'll be able to see exclusive content if you pay the $7.99, and you'll get a free T-shirt in the month of July since the app just launching this month. Guys, listen, man. If you're still watching, your boy Jay-Z might have a son out here. Check this next this video out. Me and OG tapped into it, man, and it's crazy. The boy looked just like him. And that mannerism just like him. We don't know, but check this out. You're gonna see what we had to say about it. And yeah, this is Boss Talk 101, man. Reviews.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.